Hi, thanks for joining me. So I'm going through a series of answering some questions that somebody asked me. One of the questions was, is death predetermined? That's a very tricky question because in not all cases, no. But in most cases, our soul already knows when it's going to pass. And you can see this when somebody might be in a car accident, and I actually know somebody that they left their house and they only went 200 metres down the road to an intersection. They were going into town to get some dinner for the family, and she was on her own. She didn't take anyone else with her. She left all the family at home. She got in the car. She just drove down the road. She got to the intersection. She went straight across and got T-boned. The only mark on her was a small little red mark just there, and she was instantly deceased. It got her in the temple. Yet, I know of somebody else that was in a car accident that absolutely split the car in two. They were thrown out and got wrapped up in a fence nearby, and they lived. So you look at situations like that and you think she was meant to die, because I often think if you're not meant to die, then somebody would save you. Like, there'd be some force that would save you. But I still think there are accidents that happen that are out of the control. Like sometimes I think, well, if we weren't meant to be in that specific place where something happened, and our instinct was saying, don't go, don't go there, stay home today. You hear so many people that have an instinct to not go somewhere, or go at a different time. Or sometimes you'll be doing something at home and you think, oh, I have an appointment at 2 o'clock, I better not be late. So at 1:30 you're starting to get ready, and you either get a telephone call or someone knocks on your front door. Something distracts you, so you're 5 minutes late. And then on the way to your appointment, you see an accident, and you could have been there, but you were 5 minutes late. So there's these things that happen all the time that prevent the death from happening, because that somebody knows, either your higher consciousness knows or our protectors know that it's not our time to die. So they stop us from being in a specific situation at a specific time. But then I do think, I've often thought about this over the years, I kind of think sometimes you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know, or it's just a freak, like a really freak accident that takes your life. I don't think it's 100% predetermined, put it that way. I think most of the time it is. Most of the time we know. Most of the time we know that we're only meant to be here for a certain amount of years. And sometimes we know we're meant to be here for many years. I remember having this discussion with a friend of mine that was dying of cancer, and when she was going through all her chemotherapy, and she was very, very depressed. I said to her, what if in this lifetime you're going to pass in your 40s, but then next time when you loop, you go back into the afterlife and come straight back again into a new life. What if you're going to live till you're 99? And what if after the year you're 99, you're going to live till you're 5? I think a lot of it is what our soul wants to just experience. Like, our soul can say, well, I've experienced being on earth for 5 years. I've experienced being on earth for 50. I've experienced being on earth for 98 years. I think a lot of it is to do with what the soul is, wanting to experience in that lifetime. I also know of a lady who, she lost her son. He was killed in a car accident. He was only in his 20s. And of course it was devastating for her to have lost a son. And it was, I don't know, about 10 years after that happened, she was in her own car accident. And it put her in a coma because she was extremely injured from the accident. And she was in a coma, and I often felt, because I knew her, like I felt like she was in both worlds. She could hear her other sons visiting her in hospital, but she was also part of her was with the son that had deceased. Now, she was in a coma for a really, really long time, and then she died. And I know we have these exit points. We have a choice that if we're in that coma space, we can be in both worlds. We can connect with the non-dimensional world and with the dimensional world. So for a long time, it may have been a really nice place for her because she was with both. She was with the living and with the non-living. But eventually a decision has to be made. You can't be half and half. You can't live like that. You can't exist like that. You have to be either fully in a non-dimensional space or fully in a dimensional space. So she died. But then I've known of other people that have been in comas that have come back and lived their life again and I do believe we have a choice in situations like that. But it's because, sometimes you could see somebody get shot. Let's say that shoots somebody. The person who's doing the shooting, if they hit them directly in the heart, they can kill them instantly. But if the person doing the shooting only collects their leg or, an arm, they can still live. So in situations like that, is there an experience needed for that soul? The soul goes, I was shot, but I lived. Or the soul says, I was shot, but I died. I think the soul just takes it all as an experience, because the soul is eternal. There is no life and death for a soul. It's just eternal. It's either in a space of non-physical living things, or it's in the living space. It's just moving. It's only the human being that only has this chance. Like my body, when it was born, it's only got a certain chance to live, and then it has to die. It fades away, but my soul goes on, and then my soul comes into another body, and then that body dies, and that goes. So I think we get so focused on death as an ending in some way. It's just the ending of this story. It's like like a book, the book just keeps going. It doesn't have to be the ending of the story. It can be a series. It can just keep going. But I don't think it's all predetermined. A lot of it is, but I still think a lot of times accidents just happen, and it wasn't predetermined that person had to die at that time. There's people that get diagnosed with cancer, and some people die within a couple of months of being diagnosed, and other people live for another 30 years, or some live for another 4 years. And so no, it's a difficult question. I guess we not are going to have the total answers until we're back home again, and then we know. But I asked Spirit, is death predetermined? And I just got a no. Like, as in that, just that general question, no. But a lot of the times it is. So there you go.